Hello, so I left these to dry, and it's not as nice edge as I was hoping, but it's not too bad. And then I've just put another bit of glue to strengthen it down middle of these, and that's more or less dry now, which is why I'm going to get on with this. So I bent these just a bit by heating them up, and now I've got it roughly to the right size that I want. I did have to cut out the end just a little bit off the end to make it sort of more pointy in that direction, because for some reason it didn't want to fit in at the bottom very well. I can't remember if I had to do that last time. If it did, it's just something I forgot, probably because it was such an easy thing to fix. But what I'm going to do is, because it's going to be glued down eventually with the strong glue, but to get the foam to stay in the right place, I'm just going to use this normal super glue to super glue it into the right place before it's going to have the same as this, where it's using the really strong glue to hold it in the firm place, which it'll stay forever. I'm going to do, like I said, I've already bent this more or less into the right shape already. Just did it over the cup like normal. And if you're wondering why, when you stick this in, that it seems to be a bit big, is because last time when I did this is one of the things I did actually remember, was I kept making it too small and finding like that out, like when getting to a stage which like was quite important. So what I did was I made an extra big one, so any inaccuracies can just be cut off later, and it just solves that problem altogether. Like, as you can see while I'm holding this together, that end there has got a lot bigger gap than that end there, because of little inaccuracies I would have made when drawing and cutting it out. But all I have to do when this is set is, and that now what I'll do is when it's completely dry, is because it's just a basic sort of circle thing, I'll roughly follow it round with a pencil to get a nice even curve around the edge, and then just cut that off with the knife, which obviously then gets covered by the other stuff like we have done with this. But obviously you have to stick all three pieces together before you can go around the entire thing. If you look at this one, I've actually bent it too much. Now that's when you bent something too much, it's the easiest thing to solve ever. It's literally just going. Also, because I'm not so keen on how this looked compared to this, because with this one last time what I did was I filled it in with hot glue and then painted over it, so I knew you wouldn't notice that. Obviously, with this being the colour I want it, I'm actually going to have this bit the same as the edge piece, but obviously it's not as thick as this one is. This is thicker than, but yeah, it'll be the same, and it'll just be like 3 bits going over, and I think it'll look quite good aesthetically. I may try and go slightly, make a thinner version just for these bits, just so it doesn't look too like out of place. Okay, so a little update. I've just been cutting out some of the edge pieces for going on here, which is exactly the same as the technique we used for this, only these bits go on the top, and they are only going to be these ones are only 6mm wide. However, after doing the 6mm ones, I've decided just for the front panel only, because it just didn't quite look right on the front panel, but the others look fine. I've actually gone for an 8mm cut on these. Now you may think 2mm doesn't sound like a big difference, but if you compare by just visually looking, you can see that there is a difference in size, and it's just gonna make it, in my opinion, that little bit better. And I also know that for this piece that goes here, it goes bigger than that, so I'll have to work that piece out, cut it off, and then stick that on separately. But that's going to be a totally different bit. So I'm going to stick on now the edge pieces that go all the way around to here, and then I've got all these to cut in half to do the edge lining of everything else. Okay, so I'm actually pretty much done with the putting bits on the first piece, and this piece here actually went wrong, but it's turned out better than it hasn't turned out how I wanted it, but how it has turned out is something I really like. Like I say, accidents are just ideas you haven't had yet. I assume because this edge is getting stretched and this edge is getting shrunk, that's what's caused this. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, I like that effect, so I'm leaving it like that. I'm a little annoyed. I wasn't clearly thinking. I forgot to check the distance of this piece, and I had to actually add a bit on because it wasn't long enough. But that's what I've got done so far, and I'll get back to you when I've done some more. Well, it's not quite midnight, but I've finally done. So, all the main bits of foam are done. If there's anything else left to do, like make out of it, I don't know what it is. These two pieces need to be joined together, which is going to be a super easy thing, which I'll do tomorrow. But yeah, I decided to do the ones on the wrist because I just had the bits left to do it, and I thought, well, I've done it on everything else, I might as well do it on that. I don't know, you can't really see unless it's in the light maybe, but these middle sections are actually like slightly smaller. They're meant to be like half the width, but it's just so it doesn't quite stick out as much. But yeah, and then so I'm quite happy with how that's turned out actually. Only a very thin layer I've got on each, but I think that'll look really nice on the hand pieces. Okay, so here's what's going on. I've just cut out, this is the second one because I've already glued the first one, the sections for this to just butt up against when it's been stuck down. Now I found the easiest way to get it where it was turn it around, draw and work out which areas the glue's going to be. Now I'm going to just normal super glue it to get it in the right place to start with, but then when it's like set, I'm going to use this same strong glue on it to really hold it in place so there's no chance of it coming off, because that was one of the things that happened when I just used normal glue last time in this costume. At one point that section came off and it was a disaster at the con because there was nothing I could do about it. See there, I'm just holding it there. See, there is a little gap. Oh, there we go. Turn it at the right angle. There is a little gap here, but that won't matter. And in fact, if you find certain screenshots of Jaune's armour, you can actually see that gap from the outside. You can actually see this section doesn't actually meet up on his armour. So right, so here's the one I did earlier. See, it's nice and set now. What I'm probably going to do is use the same glue that I've used here, go round there, maybe even get a bit of foam in this gap here to fill the gap, and then put some glue in that, and then just go round there, and hopefully then that should make a strong enough bond. I'm not going to have any problems in the future. So that's what I'm going to get on and do now. Right, so guys, so just having a little help from my sister just to work out now, because I'm going to do the straps on here, and I wanted to know which belt I could use, whether I could use this one or this one. Now, as long as she's understood what I was on about, and I did show some pictures, I should be able to use this one. I marked where half was, and she said it was coming to here, so that shows me that I should have that much extra as well to go on. And as long as I haven't messed up my measuring, which I can just double check, no, see, I wanted to keep it as the thick bit all the time, that should be fine. So I'll be able to use that one, and I prefer the colour of this one and the thickness. It is actual leather, which I didn't realise when I got it, but whole charity shop belts this. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing, sticking on this so we can attach these two bits together. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay guys, so I thought I'd give you a bit of an update. So I cut up the strap, worked out where it was, used somebody that was around that's the same build as me to work out where it needed to go, and there we go, looking at the angles and how it sit on a person. That is the angle I've got them at. I don't exactly know what that is, but I'm pretty sure if I just do a flat view, should sort of be able to see how that looks. I've got some of the elastic. I'm going to stick some of the elastic on here and on here so that they're attached by elastic. I'm going to glue that on. What I'm probably going to do with all this is glue it on initially with super glue, but then I'll probably go over that with the extra strong glue just to make sure it's really holding, because I don't want any of this to go wrong this time. And then the plan is to use these to attach the front section to the side section, so I can also get it on and off pretty easy. So yeah, that's the plan. These are drying with a strong glue. I mean, it's leaking a bit, I can see, but it's fine. It's not coming through the front. As long as it sets fine, that'll be okay. But yeah, that's the plan, and when I've got any further, I'll let you know. So, back again, and I thought I'd just give you an update of how I am. So, I've done all the elastic and that on these pieces, just waiting for the glue to completely dry, because I know when you go heavy on super glue, it does take a while. And also, I don't actually think now, looking back, that I need to use the really strong stuff for these parts, because in the past the bits did come off and did break, but there's something I'd not really thought about, and that's because it was a different colour, it had paint over it. And if I show you some pictures now, the old stuff, yeah, it was all painted, even the backs. So it wasn't direct contact, there was always that layer of paint in between what wasn't that great. But this is being stuck directly onto it, and actually when I was doing repairs in the past, I never used this. I used super glue and it held up fine, so I feel like it should actually work fine. I don't see why I should need that extra level of strength. Now at the minute I'm putting on these pieces. Now these pieces go onto one of these, and they will connect to a bit on here in the future. That's just so that when I'm wearing it, it doesn't drop down, because in the past that happened a lot. It just kept falling down, and sometimes tried safety pins safety pins just kept coming undone. No good. This will be a permanent thing, and everything's going to be black, so it blends in with the hoodie on my shoulder, so it's not as obvious. It will be there, not as obvious, but it will be there. So slight inaccuracy, I guess, but it's something that's going to make it a lot better when I'm wearing it. So I'm going to quickly show you what I do. So all I've done, this is just elastic. It's a spare bit from the old thing, which literally was the bit that went over the shoulder. It was the black piece there, the elastic, but it was Velcro, and Velcro just didn't work. Velcro wasn't strong enough. That's why I've gone with clips this time, because I know clips aren't going to thing, and that's why I've done clips on the main body. It was Velcro on the old one. Velcro just didn't hold up. There was, last time I wore it, I think about 5 or 6 times during the whole day, I realised, oh, it's come undone, got to pull it back on again, and I can't be dealing with that. This time I want it to stay on when I put it on. I think now I'm going to try and work out the arm parts for this, because I am going to be mixing leather fabric with elastic this time instead of just the fabric, so hopefully I can hopefully it'll be able to hold itself to a degree more than it did last time, but also it's not going to be sliding and twisting around my arm. So guys, I've finally got the armour on, as you can see here. Ooh. Okay, so if I show you inside now, this is what it looks like. Two things here, backs held by elastic. Okay guys, so little update on the side pads to start with. I've decided to actually use the belt thing as an attachment thing. I used the really strong glue to start with, that completely set, but then wasn't very strong, so I've re-glued that with super glue, hoping that's going to stay. Really hoping that's going to stay. I added these things, which were the same sort of notch things I had for the belt when I did that. Unfortunately, I made the mistake on both of them and forgot to measure twice and cut once. So obviously that's going to clip in to that when the person is wearing it to stop it falling down. But it's fairly easy to get on and off anyway. And if I just release it, it does compact quite well actually. See, look, it compacts all the way to there. Guys, so the arm pieces have dried, and to my complete surprisement, they hold up by themselves. Like, what? I didn't see this coming. But it still holds up pretty good actually. Like, considering that's not even super tight. I think these straps being proper leather really helped, because last time I just used this, which is like fake leather, and it's really thin and doesn't have any durability. But obviously with the belts being proper thick leather, they really hold their position. When that's together, the old ones, this strap piece would flop down, where this keeps its shape. Right, just a quickie for how I do the arm pieces. I draw a circle on the thing, I cut it out, then I cut that down the middle, which gives you that. Then we heat it up. Once it's soft enough, take something that's cylindrical, a ball will do. Then, so I don't get fingerprints on it, I use fabric. Hold it around the object for a few seconds. And there you have it. It's a nice round, and actually the jeans leave quite a nice impression. I've not used the jeans before. I've realised after looking at this design now, as I've got it like this, I'm really glad that I kept these, because these will be the ones I'll be wearing on Sunday now, because this design is not going any further. Okay guys, so I've just given it the finishing paint job. Now I left it a bit late because it's actually the day of the con, but
We don't have
well,
copyright music.
yeah, fine. So yeah, the gloves nice and done like that. Still got the edge on, so they should.
I'm on the edge.
And I also took a bit out there because it just helps you getting the gloves on and off. I found from my last pair. Then we've got obviously the main thing. I've just got it all attached at the minute.
Wrong.
The only bit that hasn't got the extrusion is this middle bit here,
Wrong.
which is just. So the only bit I didn't paint was this middle bit because it didn't quite look right with an extra bit. So all I did was put a strip of masking tape down there, painted the rest of it, and then just pulled it off when it's done. So yeah, there we go. There's the finished thing. And the next bit of footage I will put on is going to be me wearing it in full costume. So
I hope you've enjoyed these videos. If you did, please give it a like. And if you've made this yourself, please comment down below and let us know. If you want to see more from us doing this, please hit that subscribe button and then hit the notification bell to hear about it as soon as we release it. Right, bye guys.